Hi guys, it's Kimberly with the Caffeinated Snail, and today I'm going to show you how to make my lovely star stitch scarf. This is a 4-row repeat scarf. It is fairly easy once you understand how to make the star stitch, which I will be going over in detail. But the only stitches that you need to know going into this is how to do chaining, half double crochet, single crochet, as well as back loop only. The star stitch is a yarn eater, so just remember that, but the half double crochet does kind of even it out. This creates a nice and warm scarf for winter. Before starting, you will need a 6.5mm hook, like I have here, a tapestry needle, as well as some yarn. I'm just making a swatch today to show you the rows, but you will need probably about 500 yards or so, or more, depending on how big you are wanting to make this. We're going to start with a chain. So I'm going to make a slip knot. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 27. Once you have 27, you are then going to start by inserting your hook into the second chain from the hook. And then you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And then you're going to have 2 loops on your hook. And you're going to go into the following chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to keep doing that until you have 6 loops on your hook. Okay, so now I have 6 loops on my hook, and now I'm going to yarn over, and then I'm just going to go through all 6 loops, just like that. And now I'm going to chain 1. And that is the first star stitch. The rest of them are going to look different because you build off of that first one. So let me show you how to make the next star stitch. So you're going to insert your hook into this little circle. This eye is what we call it, that is beneath the chain. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And then you see all of like these little spikes coming off of the star stitch, the first one. You're going to go for that last one right there. You're going to go in between it and the next one, and you're going to insert your hook, and you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And now you're going to insert your hook again into where you made your last star stitch, that last chain that you made, or that last chain that you worked in. And you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. So now at this point you should have 4 loops on your hook. So you're going to go into the next 2 chains, just, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then a yarn over, pull up the loop. And you're going to have 6 on here. So then yarn over, go through all 6 loops. And there you have your second star stitch. So we're going to repeat that for the rest of the row, but I want to at least verbally give you the directions just one more time, just to make sure that you have it. So you're going to insert your hook into that little eye beneath the chain, and then you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and then you're going to go into where that last spike is beneath the star stitch, and the one next to it, you're going to go in between those, then you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. And then in that last chain that you worked, you're again going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and then you're going to go into the next 2 chains, and you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Now you don't want to make these loops too tight. You actually want to kind of like bring them up to like the height of the first one, just so that all of them create a smooth star. So again, you're going to chain 1, and that is how you do the star stitch. So I am going to repeat this process for the rest of the row, and I will be right back. When you get to that last stitch in the row, you're just going to make a half double crochet. So you should have 1 stitch after making the last star stitch, so just make a half double crochet, and then you're going to chain 2 and turn. So we are now going to make half double crochets into the eyes of the stitches. So we're going to make 2 half double crochets into the eye of the star stitch, which is going to be not this gap right here, but this next one over. So we're going to make 2 half double crochets. Just like that. And we're going to repeat that. So just make sure that you find that next eye, and you're going to make the 2 half double crochets. And you're going to repeat that for the rest of this round. Make sure that you're not going into the top of the actual stitch, but you're going into that eye. When you get to the end of row 2, you're going to make a half double crochet into that final stitch, that last stitch, and then you're going to chain 2 and turn. So this is what the star stitch looks like. It's a 2-row repeat, so it should look something like this. And now we're going to work on the 2 half double crochet rows that are in between the sets of star stitches. So let me just put my hook back on my work, and then again we're at the front now. So in back loop only, you want to half double crochet the entire row. So you want to skip the chains, and then there's the 2 loops at the top of the half double crochet. You're going to skip the front ones, and you're just going to work in that back one right there. So yarn over, insert into the back loop, pull up a loop, and then go through like normal. And you're going to repeat that for the rest of the row. As you can see, we are creating that front line to differentiate the star stitch and the half double crochet rows by using that back loop only and leaving the front loop alone. When you get to the end of the round, you're going to chain 2 and turn, and now you're just going to do a row of regular half double crochets. When you get to the end of the regular half double crochets, this is what it should look like from the back. Let me remove my hook real quick. And this is what it should look like from the front. Okay, so you do have that 2 rows of that make up the star stitch, and then the 2 rows of half double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to go back into making the star stitch. After row 4, you're going to then chain 3, and you're going to flip your work over. Starting in the second chain from the hook, you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and you're going to do that in the next one as well. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. Now what we're going to do is we are going to insert our hook into the last half double crochet that we made, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now we have 4 loops on the hook, and then we're going to go into the next 2 half double crochets and do the same for a total of 6 loops on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over and go through all 6 loops and then chain 1. And now we have completed our first star stitch in that section for this row. Now we're going to make the second one, and it's going to look a lot like how we did the second stitch and the other star stitches from that first row. So we're going to insert our hook into the eye, pull up a loop, and then we're going to see those spikes, separate the last 2, insert your hook there, and then we're going to insert our hook and pull up a loop from the last stitch that we were working in, and then into the next 2 half double crochets, each time pulling up a loop. So we have 6 loops on our hook, yarn over, chain 1. So that is how we do it. So we're just going to complete the rest of this row. following the steps of that last stitch. You want to make sure that you are not doing this too tightly. You want to be a little loose just so that your star stitch kind of has like a little room to like expand and breathe, because since it uses a lot of loops, it is a bit of a puffy stitch as well as a yarn eater, so you don't want to constrict it too much. That's also why we're using a larger hook. In that last stitch, make a half double crochet. And this is what it should look like. You now know all the rows to complete the pattern. So you're just going to start by flipping it over and then doing the 2 half double crochets into the eyes of the star stitch, and then the 2 rows of half double crochet, and then you'll just keep on repeating that until you get the length of the scarf that you would like. Just like this one. I think I did this for about 143 rows to make this scarf. When you get to the end, if you want a cleaner edge, you can single crochet across. That's what I did here, because it is a little bit lumpy on the sides, and that's just like the nature of crocheting. Sometimes it creates those lumps. All right, once you're done making your scarf with the amount of rows that you are wanting to do, as well as the single crochet edging to give it like a nice crisp look, you're going to add the fringe. Now the fringe is optional. I like using fringe. I know some people have their opinions about it, but you're just going to cut for each chain on the bottom 2 pieces of yarn in any color. It could be the same like I have here as your main scarf, and they're going to be about a foot long. So you want to take your 2, you want to line them up, and then you're going to, sometimes I use a smaller hook for this. You are going to insert your hook into the top. You're going to take that loop, which is the middle of your fringe, and you're going to pull that through the loop. So now you have this loop down here, and you have the edges up here. Then you're going to take your yarn ends and you're going to pull through that loop, and that is how you make fringe. So you're going to do the fringe for both bottoms of the scarf, and then you want to trim them so that they are nice and even for your scarf. Anyways, that is how you make the star stitch scarf. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to see more of my tutorials, just hit like and subscribe. I should be posting more soon. Stay warm. Bye.